fellow Cowboys fans, and welcome to this edition of Cowboys Imperial Report. I'm the Emperor Marcus Aurelius Maximus. It's good to be back after being out for so long. Let me tell you that right now. Why was I out for so long? Answer: school. That's the big reason why I was out for so long. When you're taking 18 hours a semester, and then it gets to be approaching Thanksgiving, that's when the 18 hours of work starts to converge, and then you have a mess of schoolwork that you must complete. And like, who was it, Stam said, that's the first priority, really making videos. Now, don't think that I wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on, or that I wasn't participating in any Cowboys dialogue whatsoever. I was still doing my Blog Talk Radio show, which you can see here or listen to. No one will see it, who cares? And I was also talking on TrueBlueFanClub.com and CowboysZone.com, apprised of the Cowboys situation and situations in the trash talking circle as well. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the news? What do you need to know? The Dallas Cowboys are playing the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC East title, or as Simus called it, the Hats, this Sunday at 3:15 Cowboys Standard Time on Fox, with Dumbuck and Aikman calling the action. What do you need to know? You need to know that their center was put on IR. Their starting center for the Eagles put on IR. You need to know that. You need to know that Deshaun Jackson made the Pro Bowl as a wide receiver and as a kick returner. You need to know that. You need to know that Brian Westbrook is back, somebody that we didn't play the first time we played him. You need to know that. You don't need to know anything like that, because it's already out there. What can I tell you that you don't already know? Well, I'll try to tell you some things you don't already know. I'll try to provide some entertainment you haven't already seen here on YouTube, in the CNS, or wherever. So, you know. The thing that did catch my eye this week in the media was an interview with Jerry Jones. Now, I'm not an intellectual wastrel. I'm not one of these people that gets my rocks off by bashing Jerry Jones. You know, so when I show you this, it's funny. I'm not doing it because I have any ill will towards the man. But the question, I think it was Calvin Watkins or somebody asked him, how do you feel about the #2 seed? We have the whole clip. All right, then play it with the Calvin Watkins thing and Jerry Jones reaction. You got to see this. Hold on.
Out there for you too. I mean, this is it reminds me of at least one other season that we had where the way things fell with other teams really helped us, and then we had a good run of playing well.
Oh, that Jerry Jones, you know, so. Another thing we could do is go around, wait a minute. Before we go around the CNS, I have to talk about the CNS. Afterward, I don't know if you know this, but I went to the Redskins Cowboys game, all right? And at the Redskins Cowboys game, there was a tailgate in mythical lot 11 or 13 or something. Anyway, that's where the CNS was having a tailgate, and I got to meet Jay Watt, I got to meet Lizzie, I got to meet some others. Go ahead and show them the pictures here. Oh yeah, that's right. I went with Michelle, one of my blogger friends. She lives in Dallas. She was ecstatic. She was glad I brought her along, and I was glad to have gone with her. Nice guys, nice guys. I can tell you, I would really, really get along with Lizzie the most. We would go out and paint the town together. You know, he seems like somebody on my plane of thinking. Speaking of Lizzie, go ahead and roll that famous clip. We have to.
I'm in the winning business. I'm a businessman. And I'm in the winning business. And if you ain't winning, you ain't got no damn business.
Alright, now we can go around the CNS. The first, the only, is from Homegrown... Whoops. There went the family. The first is from Homegrown Cowboy, and he poses a couple of questions. Let's get to question one.
They're saying that this screen is a distraction to but has been keeping the Cowboy fans out of the game from being loud.
Who wrote that? He says they, so I know it's not him. They. Who's they? I'll tell you who they are. They are the people that employ authority disorder bias. What am I talking about? There were 4 types of biases that I learned about in a 4,000 level class I took here at college called Media Politics. And in that class you learned about the 4 biases: framing, authority disorder bias, personalization, and dramatization. Authority disorder bias is where the mediates do everything they can to show you, oh, things aren't going well, oh, things are horrible. We can dispel that myth with a picture that I showed you of Keith Brooking. That happened at the Redskins game as well. And we can also dispel it by going back to Texas Stadium. Why were the Cowboys fans in Texas Stadium also so silent? Why was that? Answer: because Dallas Cowboys fans have 0 football acumen, or at least the ones that are at Texas Stadium. Can you imagine Steelers fans doing something like that? Can you imagine any of the other great football fan franchises doing anything like that? No, because they're not morons like some of the people that get let into Texas Stadium and Cowboys Stadium. Don't give me that screen as a distraction thing. That's part of the authority disorder bias that some of these people try to employ. And even some people in the Cowboys underground media, they talk about the glare that comes through the doors and getting in Matt Ryan's eyes. And they make a bigger deal out of that than the 12 personnel that beat the Atlanta Falcons. Don't get me going on this. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, yet signifying nothing. This is Cowboys Imperial Report, hoping to signify something in the internet world, or cyberspace, whatever it's called. Let's get to question 2.
Which wide receiver would you want on your team, your quarterback throwing to? Just a wide receiver. We're not talking about returns, because Miles Austin used to do that as well. He can do it, but we're just talking about wide receivers here. A, Deshaun Jackson, or B, Miles Austin.
I would take Miles Austin. And you want to talk about Miles Austin as a returner? The guy as a rookie took a punt back for a touchdown in that wild card loss against the Seattle Seahawks. What has the Deshaun Jackson done as a returner in the playoffs? Answer: nothing. I would take Miles Austin. He's bigger. He's not faster, that's true, but he's harder to take down. It's true that the Deshaun Jackson is harder to catch, which could correlate to being harder to take down, but once you got the Deshaun Jackson in your grasp, you just take him down. Miles Austin has proven that he's not too hard to take, that he's difficult to take down. I would take Miles Austin. Go ahead and play me some music. That's not a bad pick, Phil. I think I might use that in a highlight video I'm making about the inevitable triumph. They don't know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and play.
We will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
That's what I mean when I talk about the inevitable triumph. But in this case, the inevitable triumph is winning that playoff game. And it begins by beating those rotten, stinking Philadelphia Eagles in Cowboys Stadium this Sunday. We're going to beat them, and we're going to beat them to the tune of 28-10. 28-10. We'll see them in the postseason. If not, get the number 2 seed ourselves where the Cardinals and Vikings lose. We're going to see them in the playoffs, and we'll beat them again, and for the first time in franchise history, we'll have swept the divisional opponent 3-0. God save the Cowboys, and God bless the CNS.